I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to note that our roll call, we have everyone here. We have a quorum here at the meeting tonight. All board members are present. So we'll go right on ahead. First of all, let me make a statement here. We're doing things a little bit different, and we welcome all participation from the audience. We encourage you. But I would appreciate it if you wait till the end, and then I'll ask for questions, and you can stand, tell me who you are, and we'll take care of that then. Okay, we'll go to our reports, or excuse me, approval of the minutes, last week's minutes. Should be there in your packet. Take a look at that.
She gave me a new, I didn't even see her lay that down.
I didn't either. Pass those around, take one, pass one down.
Make a motion to approve the previous minutes as written.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
It is accepted. Okay, we're going to our reports. We'll start here with Andy. Would you like to?
All right. Underwater, the water plant has treated 702,000 gallons of water since March 26th. Our average daily usage over the last 2 weeks has been 50,142 gallons a day. The filters were backwashed on March 30th and April 8th. The April water report's complete and has been submitted to IDEM. The April back T-test is complete. We've been performing daily checks at the lift station and the sewer plant. Sewer plant's closed and we are not discharging at this time. Our weekly sewer samples are complete, and I'm going to be ordering biobugs this week for the ponds. The price is going to be $7,480 for the year, and I got a 15% discount on that, so it saves us $1,320. Under streets, I've got the contracts and the fund requests to be signed tonight for the paving, and I'm going to submit those to IDEM tomorrow. So this is the two project split into two sections. I just need your signature on these, Toby, to send to NDOT. And then here, if you guys want to peruse this, there's that's why Justin's here tonight. He's going to take it back to Grady. But we have this. Got the Toby's signature on that, your signature on it, Jennifer. So here's yours and his, and then I think, let me double check, I think all the rest after that, and then last page here is for you as well, Toby. There's 2 pages, so this one. Did you guys?
Who got the
Grady Brothers got they're Grady Brothers
Grady Brothers?
Incorporated. They were a little better. Have you thought about a start date, or did you anything come up? Or are you gonna? They gonna roll on it then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably be here next week.
Next week. Okay. All right.
They want to get in here this week.
Yeah, can't do that.
It's gonna rain Thursday.
Yeah, it's gonna rain. We gotta work around weather, but
Okay. Well, good. So next week. Just for the town.
Just that one.
No, you show the other one. Yep, that's the one. Right there on the, that's the other one.
Excuse me.
Yep, that's it. Except for, the rest is for them. Back tomorrow then sometime?
Yeah.
All right.
Tomorrow.
Excellent. All right, and then, I've got an invoice from Dan Young here for repair. I feel it's their responsibility. This was back in December, we had a recall on the def heater on the 2500. It's about a $1,400 repair that was covered under the recall. So they put a def heater in, and the first time the truck had to regen, it wouldn't, and it went into limp mode. I had to take it back up there. So I took it up there. They told me they had to thaw it out and do a manual regeneration. And I said, well, you just put a heater in it, why would you have to thaw it out? Well, they didn't know, and I talked to them. The person I needed to talk to wasn't there, so they were supposed to call me back. They never did. Started sending bills. And here about a month ago, Jennifer said, hey, Dan Young called, so I called him back, tried to talk to him about this, and they were supposed to call me back and never did. So then I called him yesterday, and I told the guy, I said, this is the third time that I've been told I'm going to be called back, and I said, no one's calling me back. And he said, well, you need to talk to the service manager. Well, the person I talked to called me back instead of the service manager. So they're saying it's $231 for a manual regeneration of the truck. But they admitted to me yesterday that the heater they put in the truck was defective. So when I took it back, they replaced it. And my whole argument is, you put a defective part on our truck that made it not work properly, and now you want me to pay you to fix it when we already paid you to fix it. So I don't know if one of you
Which it
want
was
to call.
supposed to be free to get fixed.
Well, it was $1,400. It's just General
But it
Motors
was
covered it for
covered.
us because
Right.
it was under a recall. So Dan Young got paid $1,400, but the problem was the part that they got from GM was defective.
Was defective.
And Dan Young didn't know it, and I'm like, I'm fine with that. But they're saying, well, GM won't cover that for us. And I'm like, you put a broken part on the truck. Why should I cover it? So I don't know if one of you want to call and take a whack at it, but I don't think we should pay it. I mean, I know it's only $231, but they got paid $1,400 for fixing it and put a broken part on it. So I'm passing the buck to you, whether one of you wants to take a whack at it or you want to pay it. But I mean, I just don't agree with it. They admitted the part they put on the truck was broke yesterday, and that's why they had to do a manual regeneration to clean the filter.
So Murray, you volunteering to check into it? Okay.
You recall who you talked to, Andy, so he can ask for the same person?
Yeah, I got it written down in there. I'll get it to you. I wrote it down.
When you
When I talked to him
whoever you talk
yesterday.
to will know what
Yeah.
he's calling about.
Yeah. All right, and then the road bed in Phase 5 Northwind States passed the roll-proof test, and they're going to be installing the curbs tomorrow, and then start paving that Section 5 next week, and then they're moving down. They're finishing up a few things on the south end around the pond, and then they're going to start putting that road in. So both ends should probably, and then they're digging the foundations for 3 houses tomorrow on County Line.
Wow.
Then under building, we received 2 applications this week, and I had 1 zoning inquiry and 1 building inquiry, and then I had 1 inspection. And I talked to Doug White. He's fine with voluntary annexation.
Good.
So that's good. Yeah, he said he didn't have any problem with it. Yeah. So that's all I have. Unless you have any questions.
Thank you, Andy. We'll move on to our fire chief, Jerry Liston. Jerry, you got something for us tonight?
I do, I passed out my report, and since the March 11th meeting, we've had a total of 10 runs here in town. 8 EMS, I know I put 10 there, but it's actually 8, and then 2 fire. So, had some issues with dispatch on our paging. When we went to active 911 on our phones, it messed up our paging here in the town on the fire paging. So I think we've got that corrected, I believe. And it took about 2 or 3 days to get that corrected, but we did get it corrected. Back during the cold snap, we've had a conversation about the community building down here being the designated Red Cross shelter here in town. Kevin Strasbaugh, who does electrical work on the side, put together a materials list for that, and he's right about $7,000. I know when Manny was in here, Manny asked or told us to get 3 quotes on that. So I have not done that. Is there anybody that you guys use here in town? Andy, do you use electrician or anything? And
Me?
you wanna put together?
I don't know if I ever put the generator on the shelter house in the first place. I think it's nuts. We don't even have a generator.
Well, and the thing is, I think that's part of the compliance being a Red Cross shelter.
I thought it was the fire station. We designated that years ago when I was on the council.
It was before the territory, but when the territory,
Took over.
Why don't you redesignate the fire station? It's already got a generator switch.
so, I don't know, it's just something that we need to think about or whatever, decide what we're gonna do, what direction. It doesn't have to be decided tonight.
Well, we have that portable generator now sitting out there, so,
Yeah, but if there's a disaster, that will be used likely.
right, but
Yeah.
the shelter house would be used for disaster
So,
too, so.
I'm saying we can't.
And talking with Murray after the last meeting, to do it right, you have to,
If we're gonna if we were gonna install something on that building, my view is it needs to be something that nobody even has to think about. It needs to be something that's plumbed in and automatic.
runs off of
switch and all that
gas
stuff.
when it
Right.
switches and,
Has a transfer switch,
If-
bam,
so.
I don't know.
I don't know, like I say, we don't need to decide it tonight, but it is the designated shelter for the town through the Red Cross. That was done, a couple of years ago, I believe. And I think there's some things that, you have to be in compliance to have that designation. Still working on the new hydrant map for the town. Hopefully I'll have that done at the next meeting. I'll be able to give that to you. I took a call from Director Booker regarding the maintenance on the light tower. They are making sure that the maintenance is up to date before they bring that to us, that light tower, so that it'll be done before we get it. Sometime between now and the end of the month, we'll be doing the apparatus pump testing. That's required annually. Have Kenneth Miller coming in, and he'll do that for the equipment down at the station. Still looking for a company to do the ladder testing. I thought I was gonna be able to tag on to Lapel, Stony Creek Fire Department. They have FireCat do theirs, but they have so much equipment and they do hose testing that day, and they just said they didn't think we could be a part of that, which it would have been nice, because we'd have just driven over there, had the ladders tested. So I will, I'm going to FDIC later this week, and maybe I can find somebody down there that we can utilize for that, or does the city of Noblesville?
I'll give you the card I have.
Okay.
But,
Okay. I had the Hearst, extrication equipment, serviced on, April the 1st. 5 Alarm came down and serviced that. Everything checked out okay, with the exception of the hydraulic hoses. I don't know how old that unit is. Of course, I don't have any maintenance records on it. But the maintenance person told me that the hoses are gonna need to be replaced here probably in the next service, which will be next year. So I don't know exactly what that's gonna cost. I'll check into that, and maybe I'll report back later on that. I need to do hose testing. That's an annual thing also, so I need to be thinking about if we're gonna do it in-house, which we can. We just need to find a hose tester to do that, and there's some around. We have, we've installed the mobile data terminal in the engine. That's from county dispatch or communications. Tomorrow night, we're meeting with Scott Ligler, I believe, to finalize that and program it and make sure that we're up and running on that. On the fire department, we're still looking at what direction we need to go in terms of BLS service here in the town. You know, either way we go, it's gonna be a cost. There's gonna be an expense to it because you have to put equipment together, especially if you want to be certified by the state to be a non-transport service. There's some things that you're gonna have to. There's gonna be a cost. I don't know what that cost is gonna be yet. We're still trying to put numbers together on that. So.
Do you have EMTs?
We do. There's 5. So. 5 of the 11 so far. So. And then last night I received a call from Doug Stoops. Doug had a great granddaughter down in Arkansas who passed away about a month old. So please keep Doug and Ellen in their prayers and thoughts on that. And I'm sure that's tough. It was a grandbaby at a month old. So I think that's all I have, unless you guys have some questions for me.
I would like to bring, since we're talking about our volunteer fire department, I think it would probably be a good idea that this board should nominate someone to be a fire liaison, a go-to for Jerry. A lot of times things happen down there and you need an answer right away, so we need someone who has the authority to make decisions.
Well, I spoke with.
How do you feel about that, Jerry?
I think it's great. I think it's needed. I spoke with Murray about it, and matter of fact, I even asked him if he would be interested in doing that.
Well, I was going to nominate, make a motion to nominate.
I mean, his
Murray.
Background or what he
Yeah,
does,
I
his
think he'd be-
career.
yes.
Yeah, I think it would be a benefit to the department.
Sure.
So if he would be willing to do that, I would ask that you would make that appointment.
I'm not so sure the president of the board can make a nomination. I was told
So
he
I
couldn't.
nominate Murray
Okay, thank you.
to be the.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Murray?
Thanks, Murray, for stepping up and doing that.
Yeah, whatever you need, give me a call.
Thank you, Murray. If there's no more questions for Jerry, we'll move on to old business. I've got orange baseball. Do we want to talk about that now?
I make a motion to go ahead and do the terms of what we discussed earlier and get it all straightened out.
Motion should be to have the attorneys pursue.
Yes. Motion to have the attorneys pursue.
Pursue a settlement agreement.
The office of the.
Okay, I want to allow plenty
The
of
offer that's
discussion
on
about
the
this
table.
before we. Anybody got any more discussions they want to make on that? Any thoughts?
Can we ask what it is? What are the terms?
No. No, not this time.
We can let you know at a later date. When it's all said and done.
Second that motion.
Okay, I've got a first and Pam is second, is that correct?
Correct.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So, we'll have Jennifer to notify the lawyers and get that thing going.
Caitlin notified the lawyers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay, paving project.
We already dealt with
We
it.
already got
Ready
that,
on
right?
that?
Yeah.
Building policy.
Steve isn't here, I sent him, some of the things, some of the questions I had and a couple of suggested edits. And, he responded saying he got it, and,
Yes, it is.
evidently he's still working on it.
Okay, so it's still on the
I don't
table
know if
then,
any of
right?
you all have had a chance to look at it, if you had any things that you know, now's the time. But, you know, it looks pretty good to me at this point, so.
Availability fee, is that part too?
He's working on, remember, he said he was trying to get, kind of comps, so to speak, what surrounding communities do.
Okay, okay, Triad.
Never heard of
Well, it just depends on what circles you run around with.
Say that on payday.
Stu?
Okay, I think you guys all were distributed an email from Jennifer, and this is regarding the quotes that you guys accepted for the cleaning and televising of your sewers. It was over 16,000 lineal foot. Pipes are ranging in size from 6" to 10". You got one, I think you got this one was from Fluid Waste, just down the road from me in Noblesville, and that's good. $1.95 a foot. So the total price, I think, was $33,586.
Right.
It's very good. So, and they, in the quote, they said this will be done within 30 days. That was part of holding this job. And you and I both will receive tapes, copies of everything that they've done, with the cameras that they use. And they will mark everything. Everything will be marked as well, as far as the conditions of the pipe, whatever is inside, any kind of debris that's in there. I mean, I'm talking about the roots. But all the cleaning should get out any of the debris that's already in there. It's basically, it's a pretty simple process, and they should be, with their experience, manpower, they should be done within 2 weeks, 3 weeks tops, and they'll have it all furnished. So then we would take that and then review. We'd also go over with your personnel and talk to you folks, and then give you our recommendations, and then you can move forward. This, obviously, I think was all part of the, out of the bond anticipation note that is supposed to be paid for. So, with that, I have agreements, and I'm looking at the notes that originally this is gonna be sent to you, but, from our secretary, but we need these signed as well by you if you are in agreement with this quote, to go ahead and proceed. I need to sign by the council, and I need it signed by Fluid Waste, so it's your choice if you wanna forward them on yourselves, the Fluid Waste, or you can take it and get it to them, you let me know.
Does anyone have any questions concerning the cost?
You get this.
Any questions at all, Stu?
I wasn't here at the last meeting, so I apologize for not knowing for sure where this, what took place in this, but, I knew we voted the meeting before that to just seek quotes, but not to actually move forward due to the financing and where the sewer budget was as far as us paying for it. So, I guess my question is, if this was discussed at the last meeting and voted to move forward, where's the funds gonna be coming from to pay for this?
Out of the project.
The bond anticipation note that I think you guys had already, I think you went ahead and authorized that about 2 meetings back.
And we authorized just to pursue, get a quote, and we got that, and Steve said that we weren't obligated, and we had, how long was it, a year to actually move forward with it, so it'll give us time to look at these projects and where we were getting funded, and so that's where I was at, because, like I said, I understand we're under an early band warning, but we're not obligated to move forward. In the letter that you guys put together to send to IDEM to give them an idea of what we were planning on working on, doesn't have a timetable or time frame with it, and they haven't put us under a mandate to do anything, and all we got to do is continue to make progress on this I&I situation that is creating the early ban notice.
But within that being said, we have to find out and identify
What
you know,
needs
what
to
it
be
is that
done.
we're gonna do and how we're gonna get it done. And I think the only way that we can do this is clean and televise, and that's part of the process, and that's why we went out for quotes, so.
It wasn't, in the plan you submitted, wasn't cleaning and televising in that as one of the things?
Uh-huh.
Public opinion, I think this is something we need to do. I think it'd give us a better look at our system. I think even if we don't pursue a project of any sort of magnitude, we would at least have a clean system and we would be able to have a video to reference, where all the tie-ins are and everything like that, and we'd be able to better identify the condition of our system. I don't see any other way to do that than to get a camera down in there.
The only other bad thing about that too is depending on, that's a twofold type problem there, Marie. I mean, when you're televising and you're wanting to find I situation, the best time to do it's when it's raining.
Sure.
And if it's raining, then the camera is going underwater, and most times if you have bad I and you ain't televising and seeing anything, and if you televise when it's dry, you're just gonna see laterals and you don't know whether it's sanitary, storm, or what they are. So, it's one of those things where basically you're gonna end up with a clean sanitary sewer, but really ain't gonna get a lot of the information that's gonna help, in my opinion, to determine where the I situation and problems are coming into the system. And, like I say, looking at the budget, when Steve was here, I pointed out to him that our budget on the sanitary sewer is low. And we don't have a lot of money to be spending out of the budget to do this kind of work, and I'm just leery of the financial situation and where we're gonna get it, and I don't wanna drain what money we have in that budget. And we're not under an obligation to do this or
At
requirement.
the last meeting, you guys authorized him to get the bond anticipation note, did you not?
Yes, we did. I was thinking we did.
But that was, we could get it and
We have-
go with
no,
it, but
we
we
have
don't have to
funding
use it for a year.
No, that's not what they authorized at the last meeting. It was to get the bond anticipation note to pay for all this work, and then it'll come out of the project.
Yeah.
Is what they voted on.
We have funding available.
Okay,
I
that's
understand.
what
I don't wanna
my
spend- I
original
don't wanna
question was, I was asking
unnecessarily-
if it took place last meeting, cause I wasn't here.
You're right.
I
No,
don't wanna unnecessarily spend money either, believe me, but we do have the funding available, and, we have problems that have been identified in our system that we're gonna have to take care of, and who knows if we put it off, if we'll have money available then. We at least, I'm in favor of moving forward to the degree that makes sense.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, correct me, but, I think we were okay without any rates being touched at all whatsoever, because you had money coming
Right.
off the books and being retired, and then I think you were gonna be able to 500,000, up to 500, was it?
800,
Right. Was it 500?
it was 800.
Okay. Without doing
Right.
anything to the rates, that's what I'm
But-
saying.
Right, I mean,
Borrowing the money and had to pay it back, and nothing else was gonna be increased
And-
from where you already were at.
I know Brock's shooting for another $1 million. Like our water project.
Yeah, we won't know that, we won't know total cost until after this part of it is done. This is that first step was what you've already done, was getting the bands, and then,
Then it was this, and then it
Then
was
this. And then
the
we'll do
easy
reviews.
fixes like the lids and the pick holes and all that kind of stuff, right? And then we'll be able to better evaluate where we're at, I guess, is my understanding of it.
So what you're needing tonight, Stu, is an agreement on the $33,586.
yes, if you guys are in agreement with that, then we can proceed. We can get the signatures from you, and then I can get them, I can take them if you need.
Do we have to take a vote on
I
that?
was just trying to find it, just out of curiosity. Was it, I was trying to think what you all had projected that this would cost, just this portion. Do you remember that? It was
I
up
think
in
we
the
had it
40s.
more, I think we had it, I don't have that report with you, I think it said it in the report there somewhere, but my thinking of it was gonna be around 60 grand.
I thought it was 54,000.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I don't know. I don't know how anybody else feels about it, but I think this is something we need to do, and I would make a motion that we would waste, clean, and televise these portions of our sewer system.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Hey,
Motion carried to accept $33,586.
I'm gonna do 3 here. We get one, you get one, and we fluid waste, we get one. These will be the final copies. I'll have you sign, it'll be on the second page. And you're gonna sign everything that says under the owner and the land. All right, if you want me to take these to fluid waste, or whatever you want, you tell me. I'm here for you.
Go ahead, you just go right
All right,
I appreciate that.
and then you'll get one of these originals back. We'll take one and
Print your name right there, and then council president.
Sign this one too.
No, that's
This
food
must
waste,
hold.
yeah.
This is leaking out in the yard, right? Or
Mary
or
Robinson?
something, yeah.
Yeah, she had a break in her line between the house and the meter pit.
I guess we're not there yet, and
Yeah, no, I went out there and she had trouble finding the leak. And the thing she had, and I told her it had to be between it, and they found it. She had a contractor out there last week fixing it.
if you sign it for waste and go back and put your copy there.
Thank you.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you. You need to stay seated. Get a discussion.
I have some things to add. So
Okay.
I was going to ask for the parcel number information. I got that, so that's good. Looks like there's just one landowner in that area. So like we talked about last time, it shouldn't be too difficult to work with them on the petition signed by 100% of the landowners, which would be just the one. One thing we talked about is that even with a super voluntary annexation, you need a fiscal plan before you even adopt the ordinance. And the fiscal plan basically just talks about the provision of services that will need to go out to that new area. So services as in like sewage and water services, and also police and fire and anything like that that would be going out to the new area.
He's connecting to the system at their expense.
That's what I thought. So we have to have that plan. My first thought would be for you all to make a motion to authorize Manny and I to look into someone that could work on that plan for you all, since
Brock
it's
doesn't.
yeah. So authorize us to talk to him. Anyone else that you might be interested in that does those kind of services, and then we could talk to them and come back with that information. That would be really the first step in getting this ball rolling. You wouldn't have to make any decisions on cost or anything like that, just to authorize us to go ahead and reach out to them and inquire into what the process would be.
Whatever it takes to move forward, I think, being that the landowner's willing, if that would allow us to, I think it'd be the best thing for the town long term, so.
Is that in the form of a motion?
No, it's not. I'll make a motion that we authorize our attorneys to pursue, the fiscal plan for, this annexation.
Here a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion accepted. Okay, we're gonna talk about our 2-hour parking situation out here. You've been kinda handling that, haven't you, Murray?
Yeah, I had some contact with Caitlin, and, she's, I believe,
Thank you, Stu.
worked on.
Thank you, guys.
A proposed modification to our parking schedule.
I sent an ordinance. Did you guys get that in time to? I think I just sent it to you too. Basically, you can pull it up, but the ordinance I have right now is just changing Main Street between Walnut and Broadway to 3 hours. 3-hour parking. Was it 8 to 8, 7 days a week? And then leaving the 2 15-minute post office spots. The things that I would need help on is a specific penalty or specific fine, because that section of the code just kind of gives you a really broad range of fines, and the best practice would be to have a set fine so that whenever it's violated, it's not kind of a pick and choose thing. This is if you...
Elsewhere in our ordinance, I don't remember exactly where it is, but it was kind of like 25, 50, 100 by,
That
so your
is
first
what-
one would be 25.
yeah. Something like that would be...
So that is in our ordinance already. I could try and find that
Okay.
section if you don't know where that is.
Okay.
I'll try and get it to you. But, I mean, are you saying that no matter what, that needs to be specifically listed in the parking?
It should, because at the end of the parking schedule, it just gives you a blanket statement saying the fine will be between X and X.
Okay.
And then if another one isn't listed. So I think something like you said would be the best, to put in like 25 is the first, 50 is the second, whatever you guys decide on. And the other thing would be, the other ordinances that I had seen instructed who would be erecting the parking signs.
It's me, street
Okay.
commissioner.
So we would just put that in there, add the fine. I did not include the residential parking, not because there's an issue with it, but because I would really need to figure out how to define it. Are we meaning only residents right around that area? I mean, if you want to go visit someone in their home in that area, can you park there? We would really need to drill down that
I think
definition.
We do have some ordinance in our zoning that pertain to some of these that are, if we were to enforce those.
Okay.
I think if we could start, in my opinion, would be start with the 3-hour parking and enforce the other ordinances we already have and see where we're at.
So what I can do, since I sent that to y'all today, is I can insert the information you guys just told me and a proposed fine, and then at the next meeting we could have a first reading, and if you guys do decide to change the fine, then I could note that on the record for the second reading.
Does that sound like a reasonable $25? Does that sound reasonable to everybody?
Sounds pretty good to me, Murray.
So I can get that around soon. It's pretty much done, and then if you guys choose to go for the residential thing aside from the zoning, then we can just talk about that. I don't have an issue with putting it in there. It's just the defining it so that it's clear and people know exactly what they're following. So,
Makes sense.
and I'll send that around soon.
Okay, is there any more questions concerning old business?
We have an update, Greg Wilson, South Broadway, update on the animal control issue. I see on the last year, we're working on the kennel still, and it says on here that you will adopt the county ordinance to help eliminate the problem. An update on all that?
My hearing aids messed up, so I didn't even really,
Nothing's happened since the last meeting. But that is the direction we're going, and believe me, I want it done.
Yeah, I mean,
as
is there a
soon as possible,
timeline for
too.
that?
Might not even get attacked, so.
is there a timeline for this now? You know,
we
what
gotta-
percentage, what
I guess-
percentage of the kennel, still needs to be done?
The vast majority of it, I've been sick, I've been off, and I'm working by myself. So, on my list.
We're,
Because I understood that you have a part to, adopt
yeah,
the ordinance.
if, once we have a place for an officer to place the dog, we'll be able to move forward a lot quicker. And so,
I think it's gonna be that long before it's finished.
yeah, we need to get somebody
Is there any more concerns?
hired, so.
Talking about this issue, does anybody have any more concerns? Are there any more questions to old business? If not, we'll move on to new business.
I have a question. I know that we're gonna get the roads paved, and I'm not sure which roads are being paved. But is it possible to get something in the chuck hole out on Central in front of Mrs. Farley's house?
I'll put some more stone in it.
Yeah, cause there's two of them there and you can't really avoid hitting it if another car's coming. It's really bad.
I've hit it 2 or 3 times myself,
I hit it tonight
It's
coming into
bad.
town.
especially if you're heading north, on the north side. you know,
Absolutely.
Got nowhere to go.
Right.
There's a lot of them throughout the town,
I'm sure there is, but
yeah.
Next week?
thank you.
Are they milling? You have milling up roads?
No,
No, they're not.
we're gonna bump mill, and then we're gonna do some road bed repair and 300 tons of, in certain areas.
Okay. I didn't know if it was milling, maybe we can.
No, we're not
Get some
doing,
millings put on
we're not,
Jefferson Street.
we're not milling.
It's gravel.
No, we're not. Just butt mills and round manholes and stuff.
Okay, let's move on to new business. We're talking about heavy trash pickup. We are presently scheduled for fall date as of November 8th. Any questions? Okay. We have a water adjustment here for Mary Kay Robertson.
Sewer adjustment,
In front of you.
sewer adjustment, right? Yeah.
It's for a sewer, yeah. Sewer adjustment. And for 2615.
I'll move that we approve it.
Second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, request approved. Okay, we move on to the last thing on my agenda here is festival update. Jennifer?
We were just going to talk about the restrooms, and I think Lori had this.
Yeah, I solicited some other bids for that. Only one person responded and they were over $3,000 more than Best Way.
I knew it would be.
So I think we need to,
What do they want to go up to? I can tell you this, the 9,000, when we went to Best Way 6 years ago, the bid we had then from the person we've been using for 10 years was over $9,000.
And this
That's,
is a 3-year agreement.
Yeah.
This one. This will be 3 years.
And what's Best Way's proposal?
9,000.
well, that one they threw out, because they weren't in the trailer business. And they wanted us to make that 5-year commitment to get, for them to purchase trailers.
yeah.
And me personally, I thought they were crazy when they threw the $5,000 out, because we had paid, just the year before, we had paid $8,000. You know, so I mean, we got a cheap price for a long time.
So, anyway. Right here, total 9,000 even. And I would make a motion that we accept Best Way's bid for our Best Way bathrooms.
Was the bid you got from on site? No, we
Yeah,
didn't.
they did it on it.
No
I'll
kidding.
second it.
Wow.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. Okay, at this time, I ask anybody have any questions?
It's to Andy. I know you're doing a lot of getting ready to do stuff on the road.
Yes, I'm fixing it. The storm drain across from your house.
I haven't hit it, but I know it's there. Yeah, someone just bought them out tonight. I knew you. I figured you because of the cone.
It's only been that way for 50 years.
I know. Well, I think we got new people in, and I'm not kidding you. It's like
I know.
thunder in my house. Going, holy cow!
No, I'm
What
cutting
was that?
I'm gonna-
Just tonight too.
I'm gonna cut it and
I think the guy's teeth got rattled.
We're
He's
gonna cut
stuck there
it.
for a minute.
I'm gonna cut it and raise it up. I'm gonna try to do it this week because they're coming next week after they finish Arcadia's to start paving, and we're gonna bring it up.
So I figured you'd already been approached on that several times. And
No,
I
it's-
have another question.
It's on the list. Yeah.
Murray pertains to him. We talked about a person that stopped by my house asking about junk and stuff like that, that lives down there on Indiana. And as far as that place, also he stopped at your house. He's snooping around your place yesterday. Just letting you know. I didn't know what, I knew
Another one out in the
we had
grass?
talked about it. Does the town have anything on that place?
Other than what our ordinance enforcement is theoretically trying to do with it,
Railroad?
Yes.
nothing really, but if I mean, there's,
At that
now if
first
it's,
street, we were.
there's some
Oh, by the
avenues we
old
might
garage.
wanna
We were
look
by
into
there,
there, though.
and it looks like somebody's.
From what I've heard, it seems like it's not a very
I'll check
safe.
it out for me.
That's it. They got holes in that floor. They got kids in that house.
Last night.
And there's
Yeah,
no,
I'll put that out for me and check it out. Thanks.
I'm not big on reporting people, but that's pretty ridiculous. to have
Unsafe
kids in that.
condition, I mean, it sounds like, so.
I think CPS would yank them kids out in a heartbeat.
Well, I don't know who best would be able to raise that issue, but I'm assuming the health department's probably a good way to go there.
Health department would be the same.
Being that you all have been inside, is
I
that something that?
missed both runs on that. I have not been in the house, but I heard it was horrendous.
I don't know if it would, I mean, I've not seen the inside, but I've smelled the inside from the outside.
I know, I talked to an individual that they lived there for a short time and they got out and there's mold everywhere. And then,
So to answer your question, no, nothing other than, nothing exceptional.
okay, that's all I have. All right.
Did you have a question, ma'am?
Yes, I do. My name is Kathy Howard, 245 South Central. And my question is, and I know that I tried to address this before, but I guess I'm going to address it again. And hopefully this time it will go a little smoother. I would really, really like to see our website updated. The last minutes to any meeting that are on our website is October of 2016. We can't go on there and look and see what's going on in our town if there's nothing on there that's not 2016. I mean, look at it. There's no minutes. When you go to the minutes, the last one is October of 16.
It shouldn't be. No.
Well, it is on our website.
We had, Brad was updating everything for us, so.
Well, that's what Murray told me the last time. We're working on it. But
Because I used to be able to post the meetings but then, he changed the website, so now, so I'll go on there and take a look at it and.
no, because when
And
I
get a hold
I
of him,
mean,
because all I usually have to do is just text him and we can get it straightened
yeah,
out,
because
so.
I went on there a couple different times to look at minutes, and it's like, where are they? And there's still stuff on there from old festivals and, you know, just, I would just like to see more current information on there, because anytime you wanna look and tell someone about our festival or whatever, and you look on there and you see old dates, it's like, I'm sorry, it's embarrassing to me, and I'm always promoting our festival, always. So I would just like to see that more up to date.
I can get hold of him.
Any more questions? Can I get a motion to sign the claims, close the meeting?
I make a motion to sign the claims, close the meeting.
Here a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.